Hello guys, Yakaze here, and in today's video I'll be talking about few stuff um, about Genshin and which characters you should save for, you should ignore, skip, and just never pull, right? This is also a tier list, so I will be placing those characters in my own opinion based on their strength and my experience with them in the time I have played those characters, right? Now, um, there is a high priority, mid priority, low priority, and skip, and just nah, because Albedo is just nah, he just doesn't work, right? So yeah. Skip will be a character that you can pull for, but you don't really have to. So let's say Lini, right? And then let's say we have a low priority pull character, which is, let's say, Child. And then we have mid priority, which is, let's say, Kokomi. And then a high priority character to pull for. Let me just see where he is, which is Novelette. So that's kind of my thought process, and this is also for Abyss. So if you do want to finish Abyss floor 12, 36 stars and whatnot, so that you can do so by yourself. And this is also just to hear, if you want to hear my opinion as someone who's been playing the game for 5 years and have been doing the Abyss 12, 36 stars for the past 3 years of those 5, right? So yeah, let's begin. Now, I gave a start, right? And I'll be giving you a detailed explanation on why is every character there where it is, right? So Novelette is just really strong. He's free-to-play friendly. If you have Novelette and you build him well, you can play him solo in Abyss. He doesn't even need a team, right? Then we have Kokomi. You cannot carry yourself / your account to that extent as Novelette can, but she can definitely help you towards that, right? Because she depends on the few teams, right? But she's incredibly strong in those few teams, which I'll be going over in a little bit. Then we have Child. Child is, I have like a mixed opinion. Child, he really sucks and he's really good. He can carry your account to some extent, but not better than Kokomi. So that's why he's in low priority. Lini is in skip because I just don't like him. I don't like his play style. And yeah, that's why I'm not going to comment really much on him. But you can only do one team with Lini, which is Mono Pyro, and you cannot really use him as a DPS outside of that. And that is why he's in skip, because even though Child sucks, he can carry your account better than Lini can. Alhaitham definitely higher than Kokomi. Why? Well, because he's a DPS. He's Dendro DPS, right? And you can also play him in few teams. You can play him in Spread. You can play him in Hyperbloom as a driver. And you can play him in a Nilo Bloom team, but then that is a very That is very unpopular team, so I'm not going to comment too much about it. Ito, Ito needs Goro, right? So if you don't have Goro, Ito just does not work. So for that reasoning, I will put Ito in low priority. Arlecchino, incredibly strong. The only character she needs to shine is Xingqiu, and she even shines in mono pyro teams, in overload teams as well. So that is why she is going to be our second character in a high priority to get. Baiju is okay. His Dendro support, his Dendro application is not really that incredible. He's a healer and a shielder, so that is why I'm going to put him higher than Child. Reason for that being, we already have Dendro Traveler, we have Kole, right? Both of those goes into one of the most powerful 4-star teams, which is Cookie Hyperbloom with Xingqiu or Barbara. So yeah, that is why he's in low priority. Chiori, she is a support. I have seen a few DPS builds, but she can just chill below Child for now. Sino is a skip. Reason for that is Sino has a really long burst duration, right? So what that means is that he's in his burst way too long. Now you might think, oh yeah, but like you bursted, so it's good to be in your burst, right? Because you're doing the most damage. But it's actually not, because if you line up everything perfectly with his supports that he's using, for example, Fischl and Nahida, yeah, he's not really that strong as if you were to put Chlorinde there, for example, right? Because his burst and lasts for too long, and his elemental skill is very annoying to hit inside the burst, because if you get knocked down, you'll just miss a skill and a lot of damage on that skill. So yeah, that is why Sino is on skip. Eula is just nah. Physical damage is pretty much dead. Reason for that is because Hoyo doesn't like physical DPS. We have not gotten a single physical DPS ever since Eula got introduced in the game. So yeah, she hits big, but again, she is a very bad character. So yeah, and she's not really going to carry your Abyss journey as much as these characters up here. Furina is a must pull. She just carries everything. If you have Furina, you can play every single character with her set, with Mara Chaussee, I believe it is called, where you get the free crit rate when you lose HP. So yeah, incredible buffer. She does incredible damage. She can heal you as well. She can be played in every single team that needs a Hydro, so that means Vape, that means Electrocharge, that means Hyper Bloom, Bloom, etc, etc. Ganyu is just nah. Reason for that being is she's just really bad outside her 2 teams that she has. You can play her as a burst support, but then I don't really see the point in that. Pulling for a 5-star just to play her as a support, when you can play, let's say, Rosaria, Diona, or other 4-star units, right? Hu Tao, I forgot if I mentioned, but this is all on C0, right? So no constellation. So I am going to put Hu Tao here. Below Ito, reason for that, Ito only really wants a Goro, and you kind of need, for her, you need a Shielder, you need Xingqiu, and you really need her C1 in order for her to shine. Now, I know there are quite a lot of masochists out there that are playing her without her C1. But yeah, if she has her C1, she would be here, but this is a C0 tier list, so she's here. Kazuha, high priority, even above Furina. Why? Because he's a very decent Wanderer user, right? Anima Shred, shreds the element, gives you buffs. There is nothing really much to say. Kazuha has been broken for quite a while now, so yeah. Ayaka, I'll have to be honest. I like Ayaka a lot. I think she deserves a high priority, purely because of the pure damage she does, but she cannot be played with 4-star units. You cannot play, you can play her without Kazuha, but you cannot play her without a 5-star Catalyst Hydro user. Reason: Barbara doesn't have AoE Hydro application, Xingqiu doesn't have AoE Hydro application, and I don't know if there is any other Hydro units currently, but yeah. She needs Kokomi or Mona. You can swap Kazuha for Sucrose, and you can make her work, but she needs Kokomi or Mona to make her shine. So for that pure reason, she will be below Hu Tao. But yeah, she's, and above Baiju and Child and Chiori. No. So yeah. Ayato, on the other hand, he's, in my opinion, stronger than Ayaka. Reason for that, he only needs Shanling. You get her for free. You can give him Bennett, but you don't have to. You can give him Kazuha, you don't have to. Those are the swappable units that you can do. You can do Sucrose instead of Kazuha. You can do basically any buffer that has Noblesse instead of Bennett. Yeah. Klee just now. I'm not even going to comment on that. Nahida, I feel like Nahida is a higher pull priority than Furina. Reason for that is she's played in every single Dendro team there is, and you cannot go wrong with her. Purely because of the, she's a deep wood user, so she shreds Dendro, she gives you incredible elemental mastery buffs, and her elemental skill is quite broken as well. And her Dendro application is currently the best in the game. There is no one applying Dendro better than Nahida. So that is why I believe she's stronger than Furina for Abyss. Navia definitely stronger than Alhaitham, definitely stronger than Ayato. Why? Because of her elemental skill and the crystallized reaction. So basically she shields herself, she does a lot of damage. Yeah. Navia is just, yeah, Navia is broken. Now Nilo. I am going to put Nilo above Navia. Reason for that is a purely Bloom team. You just put her on HP. You can have her with level 1 talents. You can have her running Dull Blade. So you don't even need anything. She just needs HP artifacts. She doesn't need crit. She doesn't need crit damage. She doesn't need crit rate. She doesn't need crit damage. Incredibly F2P friendly if you enjoy playing Bloom reaction there is. Raiden fell off a little bit with the current state of the game. But still, she's incredibly strong. Gives you incredible energy recharge, right? But she's a little bit harder to build and to balance because of her burst and her A4 passive that gives you the damage based on the energy recharge. But then again, incredibly strong because of her free-to-play weapon, which is the catch. That beats every single 5-star weapon that's not engulfing lightning. You can also play her in Hyper Bloom team, full EM. You can play her in Raiden Hyper. You can play her in Raiden national team with Bennett, Xingqiu, and Shanling. Yeah, that's Raiden. Shenhe is just skip. Shenhe is a skip if you have, until you don't have Ayaka, Kokomi, or Mona. And yeah, then you can pull for Shenhe. Until then, she's just not really used, or yeah, she just doesn't really do much for anything other that's not cryo. Venti just now. Scaramouche. I'm going to put Scaramouche above Child purely because he's an emo. He flies, right? He does his stuff. He's again free-to-play friendly. If you played Genshin for more than a week, you probably have a Vidsit, so yeah. Arayo, I am going to put Arayo below Nilo, purely because I have not played Arayo Tesla myself. I have seen lots of videos about him, and I have the general knowledge of where he would stand. But yeah, again, I did not play him. I do not have experience playing him in Abyss. So that is why he's going to take second place in mid priority. Shanyun, she's a skip. Unless you really like how she looks, right? And you wanna marry her secretly, then sure, go ahead, pull for her. If not, she only works in plunge, so yeah. Zhao, I'm going to put Zhao below. Scaramouche, reasoning, yes, you can use a white tassel on him for the crit rate stat, but the passive is, yeah, the passive is bad for him. So yeah. Yae Miko, I am going to put Yae here. Pure reason, you can play her on field, you can play her as a sub DPS, you can play her as a burst support, which is kind of sub DPS, yeah, I guess. So on field, sub DPS, you can play her in Hyper Bloom as well, even though you will have kind of annoying time proccing the Dendrocores, but yeah. She works in quite a few teams, more than Scaramouche and Zhao, so that is why she's higher above them. Yeah, and that is why I'm gonna place her above Ayaka as well, because Ayaka only works in freeze. She has a freedom of playing like 3 teams, so yeah. Yelan, yeah, Yelan. Where do I put Yelan? At this point at time, I would honestly rather have Yelan than Raiden, but then just because the Raiden is so strong, I would just do it like this. Yelan is incredibly strong. If you ignore her ramping damage on her burst, she is still incredibly strong, even at C0, because she wants HP, she wants a little bit crit rate, a little bit crit damage. Usually whenever you're playing Yelan, you're doing it with Sing Cho, so you don't have much energy recharge issues. If you're going for HP Sands, Hydro Damage Goblet, and crit rate or crit damage Circlet, or if you really suck with your energy recharge, for which I do not see the reason why you would, because her best 4-star weapon is Favonius Warbow. Yeah, she's also emblem user, so you get quite a lot energy recharge from her existing, I guess. So yeah. Yeah. She is worse than Sing Cho at Hydro application though, but she does more damage than him. Yoimiya. Yoimiya can be played really in only one team, that is... I mean 2 if you wanna play her in Overload with Chevrus. But that's pretty much it. You can play her in Vape. At C0 she kinda sucks for Abyss, where there is multiple enemies. Reason for that being is because she's a bow user, so kinda doesn't really do much. If you are using her in Abyss, where there are bosses to kill, I feel like she shines much better than any of these characters at C0 with Sing Cho only. So yeah, that is why I'm going to put her here. Yeah, Zhongli is a must pull. I'm gonna put Zhongli here. I feel like he has a higher priority pulls than Furina, Raiden, and Yelan, because he's a shielder, he's a tenacity user. Yeah, he has 20% all Geo res shred, you know, so yeah, incredibly strong character. Now, Chlorinde. Chlorinde is a mid priority. I would put her above Alhaitham. Reason for that, you can play her in Aggravate, you can play her in in Hyperbloom as a driver, right? You can play her in Electrocharge, you can play her in Overload. She needs, however, she needs really good stats and really high talents and a good weapon, because she doesn't really work without a good weapon. Now you can just go ahead and you can put her on Fontaine craftable weapon. I forgot what the name is, but yeah, her basically best free-to-play weapon is a Fontaine craftable one. Yeah. Kinich, I'm gonna put Kinich on top because of the Burgeon and the damage he does, his Dendro. So yeah. Emily is a support character. She does, I mean, in my opinion, she's a support character. She does quite well in Burning and Burgeon teams, but she is weaker than a lot of these characters. So yeah. Mualani goes below Kinich. Why? Because, you know, for Kinich you can just give him Shanling and Bennett, and Mualani can't really use the attack buff because she scales off of HP. But yeah. Shilonen, I would get Shilonen last here. A reason for that being is all of these characters have higher use in teams more than Shilonen has, right? I mean, if you compare her, she's basically same like Kazuha, but Kazuha is an emo and she's a Geo, right? So, yeah. You're kind of losing the Viridescent Venerer Shred. Then we have Chaska. I am going to put Chaska above Mualani purely because Chaska can play any team. She needs two characters, right? So she either needs Cryo and Pyro or Pyro and Hydro, and yeah, she's good to go. You just slap attack on her, so you don't go. So you don't play, let's say, a Cryo Goblet on her if you wanna melt. So yeah. I mean, she can use like every goblet in the game because she's the one doing the damage. Because that's how they made her work. But yeah, incredibly strong character. Yeah. Mavuika can go there. Now I know a lot of you simps are gonna go nuts now, but the reason is because Mavuika cannot be played without Silali or Shilonen. There's purely not a good Cryo support or Hydro support that will allow her to shine, right? Because of how dumb they made her burst work, you need battle points, so you need to fill her battle points up to get her burst, and the only way you're filling the battle points by spending Night Soul points. And that is incredibly dumb, incredibly annoying, and you need Natlan characters for her, which is very selective. But even outside of of Natlan characters, I feel like she's strong. That you can play her if you wanna burst so every second rotation with her. But yeah, she goes in a low priority in my opinion. After I wasted $100 to get her, she goes in a low priority. Because I am not wasting 100 more to pull for a character I do not want. Silali. She builds EM, she's a shielder, she does some damage. Now there is an issue with Silali, is that you can play her in cryo teams, in melt teams, and etc. etc. So I am going to put Silali above Movika purely because she has a shield. She scales off of the EM. She doesn't need that much of a good stats, right? Because you only want EM on her. And you can slap any 4-star catalyst that you have in your inventory and she'll do good. Yeah. Now I'll just quickly go over and look at my list myself and see if I made any mistakes here. In my opinion, there is. No, yeah. There you go, guys. This will be your Genshin Spiral Abyss only C0 tier list. Now again, this is my opinion. Just because I think that Movika belongs in a low priority doesn't mean that you don't pull her. It just means that, in my opinion, she doesn't belong anywhere near these characters because purely how her burst works, and I don't think it is going to be fun for a while to be spamming charged attacks and just spinning in circles. So yeah, I find her playstyle incredibly boring. Her burst is incredibly annoying to get. She works in one team and one team only. And yeah, as a DPS that is. So yeah, incredibly annoyed that I pulled her, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, I'll see you in the next one.